Hello class, in this video we're going to take a look at analyzing a resource on the web. So we're going to walk through how you can scan this to see whether it's reliable, and further what kind of information it's going to hold, what the goal of this source is, and that's going to affect how you're going to think about using it in your own paper. So first let's look at scanning the page to analyze the resource. We can see if we start up at the top with the URL, this is from census.gov. The Census Office's job is to collect census data, to analyze that data, and produce reports about that data. So this is going to be a reliable source. And if we scroll to the bottom, we can see some other links to information, information quality, data linkage infrastructure, other links to information, so you can get a more rounded view of the resource. Okay, so now that we've decided that we can use these numbers from the census.gov website, we're going to think about what kind of a resource is this. So first I'm just going to scan by scrolling down through the page. And if you're watching, you're probably noticing 1, 2, 3 charts going by, 4 charts, 5, a data table. So the emphasis of this information is data, is numbers, is being represented visually, is being represented in bullet points, and is being represented in paragraphs that include citations of numbers. So I know that this is pretty much a hard data kind of resource. The title is 2 rounds of stimulus payments lifted 11.7 million people out of poverty during the pandemic. That is phrased as a claim, right? But this is not the same kind of claim as one that would be really debated on two sides. This is a conclusion drawn from numbers, right? And we know exactly what the whole orientation of this piece is from the first paragraph. The more than $400 billion in 2 rounds of stimulus payments the government distributed during the pandemic helped lift 11.7 million people out of poverty in 2020, according to the supplemental poverty measure released today. This is a hyperlink to the supplemental poverty measure. It takes us to another page on the government website, and it has highlights of research, and then it has figures and tables which are downloadable. So this is, again, these are sets of data and conclusions being drawn from that data. So if you're thinking about how you would probably use this source, it's going to be a source probably for logos, for numbers, for arguments from like what objectively happened. The number started here, the number ended here. It's drawing a line between coming out of poverty and receiving stimulus payments. Simple argument based on numbers. So when you're thinking about how to incorporate a resource like this, you're going to look and ask yourself, what's the purpose of this resource? Is it making an emotional argument? Is it an individual speaking from experience? Or is it a big organization aggregating data, making conclusions based on data, pushing out statistics and logos style stuff that you can use in different ways in your research?